Today to talk about a number of key issues. I also want to thank Wayne LaPierre for the tremendous leadership that he has consistently provided for the right to bear arms and for protecting the Second Amendment. And I want to thank the National Rifle Association, all of you as members, for the work that you do to make sure that we are in a position to preserve our rights. I also want to recognize John Sigler, who many of you know. John has been a great leader here at the NRA and has provided real leadership also in Delaware, and it was great to be with him again this morning. It's very important that we produce leaders, and in particular, that we produce leaders who are prepared to be on offense and are prepared to carry our ideas and our values into the political conflict. I want to suggest for the National Rifle Association a fairly bold change in part of its direction in order to be even more aggressively on offense in terms of defending the right to bear arms. But let me start and say that I want to first of all speak two positive words about the Obama administration. I know this is an unusual place to come and be positive about the Obama administration, but I think the words goodbye are very positive. And I think we need to focus our energy from now to November, not just to say goodbye to Barack Obama and Joe Biden, but also to say goodbye to those liberals in the Senate who have been blocking passage of the right kind of legislation. And if you understand and believe in our Constitution, you know that we have to win more than just the presidency. We have to win House seats, we have to win Senate seats. To truly get America back on the right track, we have to have one of the most decisive elections in our history, and we need to get America back on the right track because from economic problems to fiscal problems to national security problems, we are clearly a country that has gotten away from the things that made us effective.
The NRA was founded in 1971 to protect American citizens' Second Amendment, the right to bear arms. Throughout the years, they have been able to change laws regarding the ability to possess and use firearms in our country. They defend the controversial issue of a citizen's right to self-defense. With over 4 million followers and many more supporters, and due to our democratic government, they have been able to have a large impact on our country. By word of mouth, they have been able to spread their word on a pro-gun America, expressing that it is our human right to be able to protect ourselves. This has caused them to gain many followers, as well as caused the number of gun sales to increase rapidly. The NRA's main selling point is patriotism. Many Americans jump at the opportunity to fight for the rights that were given to them in the Constitution. They are also able to increase supporters through the credibility of political figures. Chris Cox is the chief lobbyist for the NRA and is a former chairman of the U.S. Secretaries and Exchange Commission. Due to their ability to reach the people, they have increased the amount of pro-gun politicians in the U.S. government. The NRA over the past year was advocating for Scott Walker for the governor of Wisconsin and came out victoriously. After this win, Cox released a statement thanking NRA supporters for their advocacy of the pro-gun candidate.
Zimmerman's defense has centered on Florida's so-called Stand Your Ground law. That law says a person who's doing nothing wrong has the right to defend themselves to prevent being seriously injured or killed. In other words, if you think someone's going to hurt you, if you even think it, you can defend yourself with a gun. Groups like the National Rifle Association want to see these laws passed in all 50 states. CNN contributor Roland Martin is here with more. Roland, the state lawmaker who passed Florida's law say Zimmerman shouldn't be able to use their law as a defense. They say that the law is being perverted in some way because of this case.
It is being perverted. I mean, first and foremost, how was Trayvon Martin coming after George Zimmerman? Zimmerman is in an SUV. He gets out of his vehicle. He goes up to Trayvon Martin. This makes no sense whatsoever, and the NRA should be shameful for what they are trying to do. You have seen justifiable homicides shoot up dramatically in Florida. And here's what I also want to know. Where are the law and order people where prosecutors across the country do not like these laws because they say it makes it even more harder for them to prosecute cases where someone guns someone else down?
Well, wait a minute, Roland. You said you agree that the law is being misused, yet you're complaining about the NRA wanting to pass it in all 50 states?
Yes, absolutely. First and foremost, we should not be sitting here saying, hey, if you think somebody is going to hurt you, then you should shoot them. How do you know what somebody else is thinking? And so, what, you're walking around paranoid and suspicious? And I can tell you right now, as an African-American man, if I'm wearing a sweatsuit, do I want somebody saying, uh-oh, I don't know what that guy might do to me, so let me go ahead and pull my weapon out? That just makes no sense. That means we have a vigilante society, and that's the last thing we need. More folks walking around thinking somebody's going to hurt them, so therefore, whip my gun out and let me take them out.
Well, it is interesting. We haven't heard much from the NRA over this issue. Have you heard anyone go on camera from the NRA standing up for this law?
Well, actually, the NRA, again, they want this pushed in 50 states. If you want this pushed in 50 states, so you're not going to jump in this conversation right now and say, hey, George Zimmerman, way to go. They're going to use their lobby to effectively push these laws. And what I think what needs to happen, we saw this with Gina 6. A lot of people protested that and went away. A lot of people are upset right now. 500,000 signing these petitions. People should be able to mobilize themselves who are angry with this Trayvon Martin case and get involved in public policy to combat these kind of laws, because that's the last thing we need. You don't want to handcuff prosecutors to sit here and say, man, we think this person was wrong for shooting someone, but they're going to use this law as justification. We don't need these laws on the books. Protect your home, protect your property, protect your family, but to be able just to walk out in public anywhere else and shoot someone because you think they might harm you, that's problematic, Carol.
All right, we're going to be discussing this issue much more over the days to come. Roland Martin, thanks so much.
The NRA's political impact on the U.S. has skyrocketed in the last decade. As their followers increase, they are becoming a large power in our government. The NRA was a large force in regards to passing the law that made self-defense with a firearm justifiable, which was seen in the Trayvon Martin case. This case exposed the faults in the law that the NRA supported, known as the Shoot First, Ask Questions Later law, aka the Stand Your Ground law. George Zimmerman, the shooter in this issue, is using things that the NRA supports to make the shooting of an innocent, unarmed teenage boy justifiable. The NRA is also currently backing Bill 111 in North Carolina, regarding the ability to have firearms in restaurants. Due to their support, it unanimously passed and was sent to the Senate Finance Committee. The laws that the NRA is currently supporting and have supported in the past are continuously being put into effect, laws that inevitably endanger people. However, due to the fact that the right to bear arms and self-defense rights are in our Constitution, the NRA continues to come out on top.